going to share with you a mindset for chosen ones that have gone through G stalking. So, if you're new to my channel, who am I and what's coming out of my mouth and why does it matter? So, in 2014, I tried to leave this place, and Archangel Michael appeared. And a year later, I started receiving visitations from angels, the soul of Jesus, having out of body experiences. And since 2015, I've been working with shamans, going on plant medicine journeys, and having out of body experiences. I think I already mentioned that. But, anyways, I've seen a bunch of things. I've learned a bunch of things. I had a visitation from Lord Shiva, and I was shown that I am Lord Shiva incarnated into the physical. And I've in 2014, I reached the lowest of the lows, and then 2020, I may have actually topped that in 2020, but I've also had visitations from the soul of Jesus, left my body, been in the 12th dimension, and I've experienced the highest of the highs, the lowest of the lows, and so you could say that I've kind of been through it all. And as a chosen one, I've had many experiences with the Men in Black, and I've had all kinds of weird things. I just released a video showing you footage of free energy devices that have been flying over my house, and the helicopters doing circles and dumping, black magic or, lower frequency energies on me. And right now, I'm currently in, I think, the best state of mind when it comes to, being G-stalked and just being a chosen one. So I went through this phase of, there was a point where, I'm not going to lie, it was a little intimidating. Like, imagine coming over a hill in Langley and there's a black helicopter hovering over the road, and then it starts following you for the next whatever 5-10 minutes, I don't know, and then you pull into a convenience store and it starts circling over and you go inside and it disappears, and free energy devices flying over your house and all this kind of stuff, right? There was a time where it kind of started to get to me. Not only, I'm not talking about energetically, I'm talking about mentally. I was like, okay, well, this is kind of crazy, right? And then I started to learn, especially more recently, just how energetically, just how much energetically it actually had an impact on me, especially, a week ago from today, July 20th. I was feeling so good just for no reason. And then, the helicopter starts spinning over my house and they dump a bunch of low energy frequencies on me. And, for a week, I was just, I was at an all-time low. And it's funny because if you've checked out my profile, the last 3 Shiva posts I made were, that was me coming from a place of being down in the gutter, you could say. Here's what I've come to learn, okay? If you're, not from around town, you might consider, freaking mosquito, might consider yourself to be like a chosen one, or, whatever label you want to give yourself. If you know that planet Earth has never really resonated with you and you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? Where did I come from? I'm maybe a vegetarian, but I'd kill that stork that dropped me off. Motherfucker had the wrong address. Anyways, here's a mindset for you to adopt if you're a chosen one. The next time you see helicopters flying circles over your house, instead of it like tripping you out, see it as a compliment. If your light that you can shine, if the amount of love you're capable of radiating into the fucking cosmos is such a threat that they would send helicopters to fly circles over your house and dump negative energy on you, take it as the ultimate compliment, because that takes resources, that takes time, that takes energy, and they wouldn't do that for anyone. And so since you have realized, if you consider yourself to be a chosen one, that you are God incarnated into a physical body, you create your own reality to some degree. I'm not going to be... Anyways, what you need to do is realize that energy coming at you cannot affect you, okay? Are you God creating your reality? So then once you become aware of what the F is going on, that's when you become more powerful, because you can either accept it or deny it. So, the next time there's free energy devices flying over your house, or helicopters doing circles, or, airplanes flying back and forth over your house, instead of getting fearful about it, it's like, oh, look at, they're coming to check out the rock star, and this rock star does not consent to any negative energy being dumped on him, and it's either going to be transmuted into love and light or returned to sender. And on that note, if you're watching this video, in the next hour or so, I'm going to do a collective G-stalking return to sender, which means to anyone out there that's not from around here, chosen, or angel, light worker, starseed, all that shit, if you have had, let's just say, the Men in Black observing you, and you'd like to send all that energy back, to the people. It's all about intention. And so what I've done with this one is I've been putting the intention all day that I want this one to be a extremely powerful collective return to sender for all the chosen one out there that have been G-stalked. And if you're new to my channel, the very first time I did a collective return to sender, within minutes, I walked into the house after finishing. I walked into the house, sat down, and my house started to creak because we were having an earthquake, which was in the mid threes, just off the coast of Vancouver Island. And, my emotions have created earthquakes. It's quite crazy. And I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but my higher self is Lord Shiva. I am Lord Shiva incarnated. And when I put my energy into something, it becomes quite potent. So if you'd like to join me in this, it's going to be a specific collective return to sender for all the individuals that are flying helicopters over the houses of chosen ones and sending down negative energy. Okay, so all that negative energy that they have been sending down, and to you, I know a lot of you watch my channel. Can you at least like my videos and share them, and subscribe and leave a comment? If you're a hater watching my videos, could you at least support my channel? I mean, I know you're learning a lot. But anyways, for those individuals that are flying in helicopters, what you need to understand is that this collective return to sender is going to be specifically designed for you. So all that negative energy you've sent down, we're going to return it back to you, and all the negative experiences you have caused people to have because of that energy, all of that collectively is going to be magnified, and it's going to be returned to you. And you also need to, for those, not just the pilots, but the individuals in those helicopters that are flying circles over my house, over other people's houses, and sending this negative energy down. Here's a message to you from Lord Shiva. You might want to Google who the fuck he is. Okay? So here's what you need to understand. You're trading your time on this planet for material resources, but not only that, see, I know who you are. Okay, anyone who joins an organization like that, what it just means is you have unhealed childhood trauma. You're probably put through the ringer as a child where you felt unsafe, unconfident, and not in control. And what happened is you grew up, so you're just an adult baby. And what has happened is you haven't healed those childhood traumas. So you seek external validation to feel powerful, to feel in control. And so you join little cliques like that, right? But what you need to understand is that you're trading your time on this physical planet for not only money, but for what's going to happen to you in the afterlife. And the afterlife's a lot longer. And Lord Shiva, now that he's down here in the physical, a lot of committees are going to be fired, and he's going to be taking over, and he's going to judge your soul.